What a cold Thursday morning. Rock City 101.9 FM Daybreak Show. Again, we say good morning and welcome to the Citizens Forum. Dele Ayodo is my name.
And I am Toby Joseph. This morning on Citizens Forum, we'll be looking at the visit, that historic visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to the United States, to Washington, D.C. in particular. And of course, that famous meeting with the leader of the free world, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. A lot of Nigerians have not the president or the team or the presidency criticized that visit. Some have pointed fingers at some of the things that Mr. President said or did not say, actions or inactions of the president. And of course, some have highlighted, especially the media, some of the negatives of that particular visit. One of that is the issue of killings of Christians, just like the President of the United States put it. But beyond all this, we want to focus on the economic gains of that visit. What exactly were the discussions? What were the deals that were struck? The business deals, what were the economic policies that could augur well for the nation? We talk about agriculture. The president of the U.S. also talked about the fact that United States, which is looking for more frontiers to advance their own agricultural exports, are looking at Nigeria, where they might be using Nigeria as a business plan, or what you may want to call a new ground for them to export their agricultural products. But does that augur well for our farmers? Does that augur well for our own agricultural policy? Well, we should be thinking about exporting to United States and other countries. We would like to see how that will pan out. We also want to look at the fact that there are different strains in our relationship with the US as regards what we can get from the US militarily. We've been talking about the fight against terrorism and the lack of the technical hardware to actually fight this war. About 12 Tucano jets are on the table. That actually was the crux of the matter when the National Assembly were querying the borrowing of $1 billion to actually buy military equipment. So we understand that the president told the US president that he should help fast track the delivery of these Tucano jets to help combat terrorism. We want to look at all this together this morning. And I think we should be able to find lasting answers to some of the questions begging for answers this morning. Are we going to see a significant increase in our military capacity to fight terrorism? Are we going to see any kind of improvement in our agricultural development as a nation? What is the implication of the deal struck between Nigeria and US on agricultural produce, the exports that is, on the farmers, especially on the Anchor Borrowers program that has actually received some kind of kudos on the part of farmers.
And of course, there are some other economic gains you want to say from that presidential visit, talking about the figure, the amount of money that has been recovered through the assistance of the United States and, of course, Europe. What are those gains? What will it translate into a better Nigeria for all of us? All right, that's what we will be looking on that's what we'll be discussing on the Citizens Forum this morning. We expect our guests to join us, maybe traffic in town as soon as it comes. We will introduce him. In the meantime, straight on, let's go to you. Let's get what you think those benefits will translate into. And remember, our own governor here, Ogun State Governor Bikola Amosu, was also a member of that, excuse me, a member of that delegate to the United States. What are those discussions that have been held over there that will bring in investment and investors into our state? All right, 0809866744 or 0909146967 remains the telephone numbers. Our short code platform is also there. The number is 32120. That's where you send your messages to. And our Twitter handle remains at Rock City FM. At Rock City FM. Let's begin to take your call. We have our guest very, very soon in the studio. Let's take calls.
All right, you're welcome back. We have our guest in the studio. Our guest is a young entrepreneur who was also part of the Nigerian delegation to the Shogam that was recently concluded in London, in the UK. That's the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. You're welcome to the show, Solomon Enilolobo.
Thank you very much, Tobi.
All right.
Thank you very much, Dele.
Now we are focusing on the gains of the visits of President Buhari to the United States. There were different agreements that were signed, different deals that were struck. Apart from the meeting between the two presidents now, there were business leaders, CEOs of companies that also met with the president. And also we had people, business leaders of Nigeria and stock, the likes of Aliko Dangote, who also met with their counterpart in the United States. When we look at this, are we getting anything significant from that visit, or we are the ones who are going to get our fingers burnt?
Thank you, Tobi. Thank you, listeners at home. Because we are here to know the full details of these agreements that were signed, we really do not know what we stand to gain, but we know what America stands to gain. America, they are the world powers. I fear they are going to force some deals down our throat. Nigeria is begging them to sell the aircraft to them, and so they might, because of that, say, apart from you paying the millions of dollars that the National Assembly is still fighting about, you're going to do this, you're going to do that for us. There are some private deals, which will, in the long run, help the country, like whatever the deals Aliko Dangote and some other top business people that went with the president, the government is going to sign over there. We are yet to know the nitty-gritty. What agreement as the president signed that would benefit Nigerians? I hope he does not sign an agreement that says we will be importing agricultural products from the US, because at the moment we are trying to export agricultural products. We are trying to be self-sufficient in agricultural products. So I just hope that was not what he was signing. We also saw the pictures of the president signing. I came to discover is a visitor's note, and the American president was right behind him, laughing out. And so, with a very big grin, and we wonder, is this guy not selling us right away, or what is he doing? But we are yet to know the nitty-gritty, and that is what we need to know. Nigeria, the president needs to be open, the government needs to be open. Not just we are talking about trade, we are talking about security, we are talking about anti-corruption. What exactly are you talking about then? Apart from the fact that they're going to sell the aircraft, what else are they going to do?
Okay,
we need to know the details.
Solomon, one people will want to tend to agree with you that we really need to know the data. But usually, in government diplomatic visits like this, there's a natural response to such visits of these two powerful, big international players. This is the first time since 1999 where we have an American president receiving a Nigerian president at the early stage of his administration. Most times it is the twilight when they are about to leave, when whatever they have discussed becomes almost irrelevant just for the book. With this, some people will say there will be almost a natural response to it between the two business groups, the Americans and Nigerian business, that at least he received, he welcomed, he discussed, even if we have not been briefed about the details.
Yeah, when two governments sit together and talk, especially on the positives, I think a lot of things should come out of it. It is good. We know how Nigeria was snubbed by the Obama administration. So even though the president met with him at some point, but it is good that Nigeria and America is sitting down discussing at the early stage of his presidency, even before the midterm elections. So, which a lot of things might change after the elections, but it is good that they are discussing now. Though we don't know the details of the discussion, but the fact that Nigeria was honored is not about the person of the president, it's about the office of the president and about the importance of the country to the United States. So it is good that we are discussing. It is good that Nigeria was invited. The president was invited. It was even welcomed in a way that they did not even welcome German Chancellor Angela Merkel. So it is good that he was invited. It is good we're having a discussion. It is good it is at the beginning of the administration. But we also need to know how good it is. We also need to
All
know.
right.
I mean, you're saying, yeah, go on, Toby.
No, I just wanted to quickly look at some of the information that has filtered in as regards some of the deals that were struck. Although some of the media organizations are now pushing that forward away from the initial backlash of that visit. The one of the deals that was signed that was between Nigeria and the US was the agreement with General Electric (GE), leading four other companies into that agreement to invest about $2.2 billion to overhaul and modernize the aging railway system in Nigeria, so that we move away from this archaic locomotive tracks that we are used to, locomotive trains that we are used to. If you look at that, would you say that is a positive?
Definitely, it is a positive. This deal has been in the works for a while now. I'm surprised it is just being signed because GE has always been involved, especially with the Minister
Yes.
of Transport, Chibuke Amici, and I mean, they've always been involved. So I'm surprised. Well, possibly they are signing the very
the
last part of
last
the
part.
deal and the final details. But they've been involved for a while. And it's good that we have such giants, such American giants, trying to invest and leading a consortium of investors in Nigeria. Though we do not still know the details, we do not know if he's. I'm sure Nigeria is going to put down some funds as well,
Yes.
and things like that. But we still do not know the details. Don't forget that are they going to bring in their engineers from abroad? Are they what sort of conditions are our engineers, local engineers, going to benefit from this? The local suppliers and all of that. What sort of conditions are they being put into? Those people they are going to demolish their houses and all that. What sort of compensation are they going to give them? So a lot of details need to be worked out, but definitely it is a good omen. Other companies around the world in America, in England, they are going to look at the fact that GE signed, led a consortium of investors to sign deal with Nigeria. I guess we can also do that. So it is a good sign, but more details still need to filter in.
Yeah, still talking about investment in Nigeria. There was also a deal to make sure that United States commit about $20 billion to reposition and revamp the aviation sector in Nigeria. But when you look at that huge sum of money being invested into a sector in Nigeria, are we not, as good as that may sound, are we not actually concessioning some of the uh, not only security entry points of the nation, but also or immigration entry points of the country, which has security implications, but also one of the major generating revenue earners of the country.
In the first place, Toby, what do we have in our airport, by the way? What's going on there? Are we sure there is? You're raising concerns about security. Well, how secured is our airport? We still have people smuggling their way into the airport and hiding in the engines and flying over and dying in the process and all of that. I think it is, especially when they are not just going to give up the money, especially when they are going to be there to oversee this investment. If you release the money to the government, we know the kind of stories we hear, and that is where you find them in Sokeways and all other places. But if they are going to invest, let them also be part of the process, and let them also see to it that these monies are judicially used or judiciously used, so that it does not, at the end of the day, go down the drain of other sort of investment. Your concerns are valid, Toby, but even before the concerns, what do we have? What does our airport look like? What it looked like a bus station in London. I mean, even bus stations and car parks in London are sometimes better than that. So in the UK generally, so we need a lot of investment. If you go to the airport today, you see that a part of the front part of the airport has been under construction for so many years, and you find the pillars, all of them standing there, and the German floor, but nothing was on it. And if you walk through, especially when it's raining, you see the roofs leaking. If it's dry season, you'll be sweating and all of that. So if we need a lot of investment, we know how much that has been put into this before now, but they went down the drain. So if we are going to have new sort of investment, even if we are going to outsource some of our management, outsource some of these things in the airport authority, so that these monies can be seen in action. We don't just want to hear figures. We just want to hear this is how much we are investing. We want to see the impact of the figures, and this is what has been happening for a while. We do not see the impact of those figures.
Solomon,
Yeah.
now, well, sometimes some of these things are medium term and long term before it yields
Yeah.
result. For instance, if you're investing in rail or electricity, it's not a short term
Definitely.
project. For the fact that they have agreed, it gives hope.
Yeah.
Let's now look at the gains our local business people
Exactly.
can tap for it. We have some companies manufacturing wire and cable
Yeah.
in Nigeria. And of course, like you just said, we also have some who are coupling
Yeah.
transformers and all these things. Even the so-called metering that we've been crying about,
Yeah.
which could also be part of the tributaries of this gain. If you put all these together, I will say the Nigerian business community should be happy.
Yes, we should be happy, but the truth is, are we actually happy? Let me start from Ogun State. A lot of these projects going on, can you believe many of them buy their materials even from Lagos? And they leave Abeokuta people, Ogun State people who are paying the taxes, who are enduring the hardship. They leave them out of it, but they source their materials from Lagos due to whatever reasons they have. And we have well-known, reputable, trustworthy organization in Abeokuta in Ogun State who can render such services. You just mentioned cables. I challenge the contractors that built many of these um, shopping malls we have in Ogun State. Where did they buy their materials? Where did they buy their cables? Did they buy it here in Ogun State, or did they sourced it from Lagos State? And so those are the things the government need to look into. Ogun State people are paying their taxes. They are paying their personal income tax, company income, income, the company income tax, and all of that. And so they should also benefit from the government patronage. They should benefit from the project that the government are doing. So you find out that most of these the granite that they use, is it being supplied by Nigerians or they are being supplied by the Chinese? So those are the things we need to look at. The government needs to ensure that the businesses, local businesses, are benefiting from this project. In fact, there should be. That's why we have local content
How
policy
should
anyway.
government do that? How can
By
they do that?
by ensuring that they recommend, okay, the
At the
government
point of signing
recommend,
the deal.
yes, recommend, okay, these are the materials you are going to use in this project. We have this company and that company. They can supply you. Ensure you buy your materials from any of these things. We will not recommend that you should buy from this one, but you have a pool,
Choices.
yes, that you can choose from. And so we're not doing that. It's at the point of signing this agreement. You ensure that your businesses benefit from this agreement, and not just, oh, we've given you the most of the time. And that is the problem with getting all these funds from all these foreign agencies. You hardly can able to dictate what you want, because they are the one bringing their money anyway. So when
they
someone
tell
is
you how
bringing
they
their
want to
money, you
spend
don't
it.
tell them how to spend it. But if we can stand our feet and say, guys, you're benefiting from this, you're going to make some money as well. But let local businesses, remember, you're still going back for re-election. So let local businesses benefit from this project. Patronize local businesses. I'm a young entrepreneur. We don't get government patronage. But what do you get? You get government running after you with policemen with taxes. You get people coming every time that they're going to lock up your offices because you've not paid tenant rate and all of that. But government do not care whether you're making money anyway. They just want to collect part of the money you struggle to make, even without their patronage. And this is not interesting. It's very painful when when you're trying to make ends meet, you're struggling all the way. But when you really made little, government runs after you. They don't care whether you make or not. So that's one of the areas we need to look into when signing these agreements. Ensure that local businesses here in Nigeria benefit from it, and that those foreign investors buy their materials, the one they can source locally.
Okay, now, good point that you've made, Solomon. But let us look at the downside of that. That Aliko Dangote, of course, does not hold any public office or political office. But you cannot just wish him away when it comes to business.
Definitely.
In Nigeria. He enjoys a lot of monopoly on some imports in Nigeria. And he was part of that delegation I met. What we have heard is that Aliko Dangote may be the sole beneficiary of this import deal or this export deal by the US, talking about agricultural produce. Now, if that happens, I'm just saying, if that happens, is that also good that even though we want to encourage a business, it is going to just one company or going to one entrepreneur when there are other businesses that can also benefit?
I'm still trying to get the full delegation of the president to the United States of America, but the ones we have seen on the picture is truly Aliko Dangote. We've not seen possibly Femi Otedola or possibly the Globalcom Mike Adenuga or any other notable person on the deal. I mean, we've not even seen a young entrepreneur. I mean, this country is filled with young entrepreneurs that can, work out these deals and that can deliver on projects, which we have done all over the world. I deliver projects in China. I've delivered and signed deals here in this country as well. And so some of us need to be encouraged to be part of this delegation. Well, it is good that Dangote was there. He has the financial muscles. Even when you go for some of these meetings, they want to see who is who. They want to see the notables. They want to see
sorry for that. I'm calling. That's exactly the point. Don't let us look at the person now, or the individual, because, like you said, the cloud of the visitors also matters.
Exactly.
That makes those who are going to visit listen and respect you.
Exactly.
So that's why I said don't let us look at the person on the video because he merited it.
Definitely.
If you want to look at it, but like you are saying, how can we now translate that? Even the individual or the company, so to say, represented by that individual, how can he now translate to what you are saying, spreading it across the different groups in the country?
Well, I'm still wondering how one man can spread it across a different group. He has a lot of portfolio. He has a lot of companies. Even Dangote refinery that is not yet into production is also already employed over 1,000 people. I know people already who work in Dangote refineries who are being paid already, even when the company is yet to start making revenue.
They are not working.
Yeah, they're not working, but they send their engineers abroad. They are ready to swing. Yeah. So they are ready to swing into operation. So if you look at it from that aspect of it, Dangote is one man that we all love, who invests in Nigeria, in Africa, and is trying to break the barriers. So it's good that we have the clout of such persons there. But what I'm also saying is, we also need to give other people the opportunity. And so Dangote shouldn't have the monopoly to have followed the president all the way down. Now, that being said, what he can also do is to employ more people, is to train other young entrepreneurs so that you learn the art of the deal and say, guys, when you go on such trips, this is what you do. Take one or two people along with you and let them watch you, let them learn how you do such things. So by employing more people in his organizations, by churning out more output and ensuring that the product is churning out quality products, it can spread it around. But other than that, I can't think of any other way that he could share with me personally.
All right, let's look at the issue of corruption. Corruption was a major issue, talking point when the two leaders met. Donald Trump agreed and even proceeded that fine, that is the downturn corruption in Nigeria. And he also commended President Buhari, who he's claimed is doing a lot in fighting that corruption. They appreciate his progress and they will collaborate in making sure. What is lost on many Nigerians is the fact that the president coming back is already coming back with about $500 million looted funds that have been domiciled in the United States. That is also part of the deal.
Yeah.
Now, beyond the propaganda, do you think this is also one of the positives and gains of that visit?
No.
And how can we begin to make substantial impact with these looted funds, other than just inserting it in budgetary estimate and spending yearly?
The first question is about the fact that it's coming back with some looted funds. Is it a gain? Definitely it is. Now let's look at anti-corruption this way, especially with our judiciary system. Sometimes you think the laws should be suspended for people who are actually corrupt, and you can make a progress in jailing them. But if you can't, at least get back what has been stolen. That's one of the problems with this country. People steal our money, come back to the community, and we worship them. But when we can label them as this guy is corrupt, he's in the court, and we have gotten this amount back, is a step in the right direction. It's actually a quick win for the government to say they have recovered so amount of money. So that the government is also getting back some money to be repatriated from the United States is a plus. It's definitely a plus. I don't know where else you want punished in that way, but I mean, getting the money back is a plus. So now the other question is about how can we ensure that it is reinvested in the economy and we can tie down some projects to it. Most people fear actually that when such money comes back, they get restolen, they get relooted, and so the government was forced to be able to give us account of monies that were recovered. And before then, we hardly had any data, any concise figure about monies that were recovered. So we need to tie down these things to project. They need to say, okay, this rail lines was built with the money that was recovered from Abacha loot. They need to say this hospital was refurbished with the money that was recovered from this other person, not to mention names. So we need to tie them to projects. And we also need to know that this anti-corruption war, it was commended really. We cannot say so many people has been jailed for it. That does not solely depend on the government for them to jail. The government, if Buhari throws somebody in jail now, a lot of people will cry and say that, guy, this is democracy. This is not military regime where you can just do anyhow. So he has to go through the judicial process. The lawyers will come and get injunctions. They will bribe. I mean, about 2 days ago, a lawyer was thrown into a 1-month jail for attempting to bribe the judge and the judicial officers. So we know all that going on in the system. So if that happens, you don't expect them to throw them into jail. I mean, Ulisa Mito has been on trial for so long a time. Jasuki has been on trial for so long a time. The judicial process is slow. The CGN said it does not really depend on them. So a lot of things need to come together. A lot of things need to work before we can begin to throw our corrupt officials into the prison. But the quick win we can have is to get this money back. And so if Buhari keeps getting this money back, then we believe he's actually fighting corruption. And it's going to be about the very first president who has fought corruption in that way. So it is right for the American president to have given him some accolades. Hello, he actually deserves some accolades for getting some money back. So that's what I believe.
All right, if you want to be part of the discussion this morning, you are free to do so. You can call the studio lines at 0809-868-7344 and 0909-146-9670. You can also reach us via the short code 32120. All you have to do is to type rock, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. Our social media platforms are also available. At Rock City FM is the Twitter handle. our Facebook fan page remains Rock City 11.9. Do we have a caller? Okay, yes we do. Who's on the line? Good morning.
Morning. Zero nine
Yes.
zero 9670.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Alana. Thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, can you quickly react to these two issues?
Yeah, the first caller said something about the president saying negative things about Nigeria whenever he travels abroad. Actually, I was actually in the hall during the Sugar meeting when the president was making some comments about Nigerian youth. I would like us to quote the president and not to paraphrase what he said. Not because I'm supporting him, but because I wouldn't like to be quoted in such a way as well. I mean, if I've not said anything, then don't put your words into my own mouth.
What you think I've
Yes,
said.
he never said Nigerian youths are lazy. He said some of them don't want work and all of that. And so, but even at that, I do not believe the president needs to make such statements. I believe when you are out of the country, you are ambassador, you are a marketer. The whole world knows our problem anyway. So please don't talk about it. Just tell us the situation, the solution to the problem, and what you are doing to solve the problem. Um, Along with that meeting as well, we had another conference where we had like so many African presidents, the Kenyan president, the South African president, the Rwandan president. They all had their problems, but they were not talking about their problems. They were talking about the solution to their problems. They were talking about how well they are solving the problems, not enumerating and expatiating on the problem. And that is what our president needs to learn. He needs to focus on the solutions and not really the problems themselves. And so I agree with the caller, but though the president never mentioned lazy, the president never mentioned that the press is docile. So let's quote the president and not put words into his mouth. The other caller mentioned that we should be wary of American deals. I agree. We should be wary of all deals. I mean, so many people have also said we should be wary of Chinese deals. I mean, nobody has said do not be wary about British deals. We should be wary about all the deals.
Yes.
So every deal that comes to the table, we should look at it with a eye that what does this benefit the Nigerian people? Not just the Nigerian businessmen, not just the Nigerian politicians, not just the Nigerian legislators, the common man on the street. How will this deal be of benefit to them? How will it put food on the table? How will it reduce the cost of living in Nigeria? How will it improve the quality of life in this country? So that is the yardstick that all the deals should be put on. And so not only American deals, the countries the caller mentioned, America didn't have a deal with Iraq.
I'm sure he was talking about
they went in there for war.
The security issue.
Yeah.
That I'm sure that's what Alara was talking about.
Okay, we'll get to discuss more about this. Take more of your calls and contributions. You have to go on a break now for the national news at 10. After the news, we'll still be here. The guest will be in the studio. And of course, you get to hear more of your views and opinions. And of course, questions. Keep sending them to 32120.
101.9 FM. The second and final half of this morning, looking at the visit of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari to the United States of America. The gains of that visit. We have a young entrepreneur here with us who was also part of the delegate to Chogom, that's the Commonwealth of Heads of Government, where our president was alleged to have made one of those volatile statements about the young ones. Solomon and Enilolobo. All right, do we have issues?
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the reactions in our WhatsApp group. This is from Shala Balogun, saying that your comment clearly betrays you as someone very far from Ogun State. You are very far from reality on the ground. I can tell you for free that the materials used for the construction in Ogun State were sourced locally. If you are in doubt, you should go and find out. It is good for people like you to make good inquiries before going on air to utter untruths. Okay, shall I want to go one further? How did you come up with the unfounded fear of loot being relooted? Have those sent in by the Swiss government been relooted? The Americans who decided to release it to PNB know the Nigerian president can be trusted with the money. You are making an unfounded statement. Okay, and Donald Trump even spoke of PNB's integrity. So what are you talking about? Those are reactions from Shalab Balogun. Dr. Ashimi says GE workers are expensive at American rates. They will definitely bring top engineers, and I expect that about 99% of the workforce will be locally sourced. These monies were not returned unconditionally. Even the Swiss want a commitment that the fund will be used for specific purposes. The previous government betrayed one such agreement when part of the Abacha loot ended up with Dasuki. This makes it more difficult to negotiate release of further sums, except for the real or perceived integrity of the current president, which seemed to be a good selling point to the international community. Your reaction before we take more calls?
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to quickly react to what Olushola Balogun has said. He said that I'm far from Ogun State. Actually, I'm from Ogun State. I'm from Abeokuta. And I've lived in Abeokuta all of my life, except for when I studied abroad. So definitely on the ground. I've been running this business in Abeokuta for the past 15 years. So I'm on ground. I know that the materials used in building those shopping malls especially were not locally sourced. I am into electricals, and I know that they were not locally sourced. Olushola Balogun can give us the name where they got their electrical materials from, the cables, the bulbs, the fittings, the sockets, the switches. Please tell us where they got it from. Tell us where they got the granite from, who supplied the granite, and all of that. So I am not saying untruth here, and please do not let us. I don't know what position Olushola Balogun holds. Maybe he's a politician or something, but I am not a politician, at least not yet. So please do not let us be partisan about this. I am into business. I say electricals, and I know that those materials were not gotten from Ogun State. I'm sure about that. The other one, Dr. Kunle Ashimi, I think, has answered the question concerning the loot being relooted. Just tell me one reason why the Nigerian government is finding it difficult to get back this loot. is because of the belief that it will be relooted. Even the vice president has been making noise about this. Every opportunity that they have to talk about it, they do talk about it. But they find brick walls because they believe the foreign governments believe it will be relooted. And he also, Dr. Ashimi mentioned the fact that even the part that were returned by the Swiss government found itself into Dasuki, and we all know about Dasuki Gate now. So we do not know any of the current administration, but previous administration in this country has been looting what has been looted before.
But the integrity of at least the person heading
exactly
the present administration remains high.
exactly. And even you remember the last Prime Minister of David Cameron of the UK said Nigeria was fantastically corrupt, but he quickly said something about this government is not.
Yeah, it was not even
exactly.
It was the Archbishop
who
interrupted.
Exactly. But this current president is not. That's from the UK. From the US, the president himself said this government is not involved, and that is the only reason they are having a headway in repatriating some of these funds. But you know, some foreign governments still believe Nigerians will only be Nigerians, so they still do not want to fully trust this administration to return all the looted money back to them because of the fear of being relooted.
All right,
so that fear is valid.
Okay, thank you. Telephones, more voices 08098687344 and 09091469670. Hello, somebody. Or do we have messages to it?
Yeah, we can quickly add some of the tweets and messages. Yamida Vinci says, good morning, everyone in the studio. Tobi, are you sure Donald Trump is really the leader of the free world? Many international organizations now profess that Angela Merkel is the leader of the free world now. All right, international organizations, let the countries say that. Dr. Kushimo says, good day, thanks to the resource person. There is no free lunch, even in Freetown. Our fears and anxieties to date stem from our inability as a nation to evolve a system that will run irrespective of the point man. At 59, this is the path of honor. It will be a monumental achievement if the repatriated funds are tied to specific projects to ease the burden inflicted by the looting ab initio. This ensures transparency and the succor is felt by all who suffer the looting. God help us in Nigeria. Suraka Abiodun says, if we say Buhari is not looting our money, what about those working under him? We are all here when Babash and Awal expended millions of naira to cut grasses at the IDP camp. So his integrity alone cannot solve the problem of Nigeria. So Rakat Abiodun says, after so much had been recovered, Nigerian government still go on a borrowing spree. Don't you think there is something wrong somewhere? Yemi Da Vinci once again says, nice submissions by Solomon this morning. I like the point shared by Emma of Aranda. I think I prefer the government using the money to buy farming implement to Nigeria than it being relooted. I'm happy that we have someone in the hall when President Buhari spoke at the Shogun. Nigerians should understand that Nigeria is now in full election mode and a lot of half-truths and narratives will be flying up and down. We should be discerning. The visit of President Buhari to America is a good thing in my opinion. It could have been better, but at least there is no huge media backlash against the president's statement there. Ismail Oloyede says, I really appreciate my brother and boss in the studio this morning. He has actually expressed his opinion and I quite agree with him on so many grounds. Anyway, Nigeria stands the chance of making some economic gains from the visit to the White House, but not as much as the US. You want to react?
Yeah, I mean, the one of the callers said that we should use this some of this looted money to get farm implements. I think that is instructive. I wish our governor, our president, and all our elected officials are listening. If you want to get farm implements here in Ogun State is a bit difficult. I currently have about 8 acres of maize. I've been to farm this morning. And even before, I had to do many of those things I did manually because it was very difficult to get farm implements from the government, from the private sector. It's really difficult. So it's instructive to use some of this money to bring in the implements, distribute it in the state, distribute in the local government, give private people at some rate, then let them loan it out to other people so that it can ease and the problem we have in agriculture and help us to improve our agricultural production. Someone else also said, what are the highlights from the Commonwealth Forum? Government, most of government deals, you would not be able to read every detail in them. But the fact that two governments are sitting down and are talking about what can be mutually benefiting is a long way. I mean, goes a long way in ensuring that some dividends of democracy goes to the populace. So I was at the Commonwealth Business Forum all through, and every country present was trying to sell themselves to the investors. I had so many content as well that we are working on, even on renewable energy and how to get mini grids and power grids into this country. So many things are going on. It depends on who is talking before they can give you the full lowdown of what went on. You have the Commonwealth People's Forum, Commonwealth Youth Forum, Commonwealth Business Forum, the head of government meeting itself, and all of that. So it's a lot of stuff that went on in there. It's actually a very huge event. It's not a single event. They have several venues where things were going on. So yeah, and Honorable Jaji was also talking about the agricultural inputs, that we should not import any agricultural product from the United States. I also agree with that. If we should look for comparative advantage that we have with the US, and let's look at what does the United States need, that we can also export to them. So because they are world powers, because we need them, they also need us as well. And so we should look at where we can benefit. We should not allow them to force some deals down our throat and say, okay, if I'm selling to you this Tucano aircraft, you must also import this. I think we should be bold enough to reject such deals and ensure that we do not import more agricultural products in this country. Whether we should encourage, we should subsidize, and give some money to our farmers to ensure that they continue to produce like it's done in other countries.
All right, so let's go back to the call. 0809-868-7344, 0909-146-9670. You can also reach us via the short code 32120. Make sure you turn on the volume on your radio set when you call. Hello, good morning. We have this one from, okay, I think I took this one earlier. That one is Marine. Keep tweeting at RockCityFM is a Twitter handle, and of course the short code number remains 32120.
So,
Yeah.
you want to say something or react to some of the issues raised?
Yeah, one of the callers made mention that so many things are happening under the watch of the president. I remember back in 2015, I never had a PVC then, but I was at the polling booth and I was canvassing for Buhari, and I'm like, let this guy win. And imagine putting him imagine putting Fashola in power. That was my thought. Imagine putting Fashola in power. We are going to have constant power and all of that. We had so much expectation of this administration, and I think that's not fair on the administration in a way. But at the same time, the administration promised us so many things that many of it are yet to be delivered.
Now, would you say that they were being naive when they were making those promises? Because they didn't have act on ground. They didn't do their homework very well to see the rots in the system.
Possibly that might be the case. Possibly also they never knew it is that difficult to govern. Nigeria is a country of about 200 million people. The last census, by NPC said it is 180 million. It's not Ghana that is around 26 or 30 million, or it's not Rwanda that is 16 million people. So it's difficult to get things going on here with a lot of money bags and a lot of corrupt politicians going on. So many of those things are happening. They really do not know that it is this difficult to govern, despite going with the fact that they have never been in power at the center. I'm sure you wouldn't have 2019 campaign giving you so much loud promises. And so this government came in with a lot of promises that many of them are yet to be to be fulfilled. Our president also, we like expressing that personally our president is not corrupt. You could not trace up till now any corrupt practice to him. But many of the guys under him might be corrupt, like the former SGF has been said to be corrupt. And also the president is not he's human as well, he's fallible. I mean, why should it take you about 6 months to appoint your government? Why would the National Assembly treat it this way when you are the ruling power? I mean, ruling power in government. So a lot of things are happening that we expect our president would also have stamp through his feet out there, through his figure out there, and get things done for us. We believe it's not really easy at the same time, but we hope and things would get done.
Okay, let's go back to the calls. Hello, good morning.
Free trade agreement. Nothing in the news has told us he has signed such agreement. I'm sure he would not even do that. Because we really do not need. If he did not sign the free trade agreement in Africa, about the Africa-wide free trade,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure.
Refuse it.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll sign so.
He didn't even attend.
All right, more call. Hello, somebody.
And highlight the gains recorded on the visit to the US. And they remain the best to tell us what exactly the gains are. Yemi Da Vinci says, I'm one of the people that believe President Buhari's anti-corruption war is selective. However, it is better than what used to obtain before, which is why America is trusting him with looted funds. Like a former president said, America will know. You want to quickly react to this? Do you agree with a section of Nigerians who believe that the media team and handlers and the president have been not doing justice as regards information dissemination, communications of the achievements of the administration, and of course projecting the image of their boss, who is the president, positively well enough?
I actually think so. I was with Tolu Gulesi, who was the essay to the governor on new media, and I'm like, you guys are not doing enough, pushing out all the good things that this administration have done. So I believe that. I believe the media team needs to do more. They need to push out those positives about this administration, the things they are doing. I mean, they have increased power to 7,000 megawatts, which was never there before. Even though we do not transmit or distribute all that. So, but they have done their little. I mean, the best they can do within the short time frame. So this administration should get a lot of that out. Someone also said that they said the anti-corruption drive is sectional. It is what was the word used? Like, I mean, selective. You can only pursue anti-corruption with the government that was formerly in power. I mean, you're not going to go after me that
You won't start from.
I mean, you won't go after people that were never in power. I mean, it's someone that was in power. You go after such people, and it was not his party that was in power before. Even though I believe some of it were selective. On the looters list, I didn't see Obaniko with it, and I'm sure Obaniko was in the court, had his day in the court for that. So the government should also sit tight and ensure that what they are doing is transparent. The fact that someone cross-carpeted to the APC does not mean his name will not be on the looters list. So the government it is the government's body language that gives these people the opportunity to label them as selective. Put even your own party people there. Put them there, those whom you have investigated, and let them know that the president, that's what the party stands for. Thank you.
All right, let's take more of the call. 0809-868-7344. Hello. Yemi Da Vinci says, in all the discussions in America, the president... Hello, good morning, Solomon. And I want you to also just oppose that with this question I want to ask you. Is it true, or do you believe that there is a media war or a campaign to demarket and devalue the president and his government?
I think that's the work of the opposition. That is what the opposition does. Remember that Cambridge Analytica was involved in the last election. You don't know who else has been involved now. And what they did then was to portray Buhari as someone that supplies the Islamists, the terrorists, and all of that. But be that as it may, that is where the government need to understand that this is what the opposition will definitely do. And I don't think it's out of place. Even in America, they do that. They shun out advert and things that would demean your person and demean your government. What you do is to counter them. What you do is to put out your own information and control the narratives. And so it is almost normal to do that. But what the government needs to do is to put out the correct information and ensure that the populace are on the same page with you. So I think there's a lot of benefit to sitting down with world powers and discussing. Just ensure that those things that you sign benefit the common man on the street. That is the yardstick. How will it reduce how will it improve the quality of life in Nigeria? How will it reduce the cost of living in Nigeria? How would our roads be better with this deal? How would we have constant power with this deal? How would the agricultural sector improve with this deal? How will things generally improve with the deal? Not with how will my government have more money? How will some private people be more enriched, or how would some politicians go ahead and have some handshake with the with the American president? But what will be the one, two, three things that the common man on the street will start again? That is small businesses, which is the engine room of any economy, the SMEs. What will they gain from such deals? I think that is what we need to look on, and that is what the president needs to do.
And of course, yes, as Nigerians, that is also what we should also assign ourselves to do. How do we ensure that what we do daily affects those around you? We thank everybody who's been a part of it. Yes, that's the end of Citizens Forum for the week. Tomorrow we'll keep the debate on the open day. Of course, that opportunity to argue it out, to discuss it robustly. Dele, Ayodo is my name. I say God bless you all. God bless Nigeria. And God bless Rock City.
Solomon Enilolobo for honoring our invitation. We appreciate your submissions this morning. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I remain Tobi Joseph. Have a wonderful Thursday.